2012 Margaret Brent Award recipient, the Honorable Tani Cantil-Sakauye. In 1959, Tani Cantil was born in Sacramento, California, to parents of Filipino and Portuguese descent. Living about half a mile from the state capitol building in an area slated for redevelopment, the future Chief Justice's family was forced to sell their home and relocate. Her mother went to court without an attorney to fight the action and came back feeling disheartened and disrespected, and that experience has remained with the Chief Justice to this day. As a young teenager, her mother took her to hear a speech by Gloria Ochoa, a Filipina lawyer, and although she doesn't recall exactly what Ms. Ochoa said, her mother gave her a quick elbow jab and said, "You could do that too." This made quite an impression on her and reinforced the power of possibilities and the value of hard work that were instilled in her by her parents at an early age. The Chief Justice's interest in the law was again piqued when she joined the speech and debate teams, first at Sacramento City College and then the University of California, Davis. She learned that most of her competitors, the majority of whom were male, intended to enroll in law school. In competition, she proved that she was their equal and many times their superior, so she began to make concrete plans to pursue a career in the law. After graduating with honors in 1980 and taking a year off to visit her ancestral homeland of the Philippines, the Chief Justice entered the UC Davis Martin Luther King Jr. School of Law. Receiving her JD in 1984, she worked as a prosecutor in the Sacramento District Attorney's Office and then in Governor George Deukmejian's office, first as Deputy Legal Affairs Secretary and then as Deputy Legislative Affairs Secretary. When she was appointed to the Sacramento Municipal Court in 1990 at age 31, she became one of the youngest judges to preside in California. Later serving on the Superior Court of Sacramento County and the Court of Appeal, California's Intermediate Court of Review, she was nominated as the first Filipina-American Chief Justice of California in July 2010. On January 3, 2011, she became only the second woman and one of the youngest to hold California's highest judicial office. The Chief Justice continues to have an abiding interest in issues affecting women, children, and families. In 1997, as a trial court judge, she started the first domestic violence court dedicated solely to misdemeanors and felonies in Sacramento County. This helped meet the legal needs of the most vulnerable, including access to justice for self-represented litigants and ensuring the robust availability of pro bono and legal services for the needy. In addition to her bench duties, Chief Justice Cantil-Sakauye is a former board member of several nonprofit organizations and has been active in numerous professional community organizations. She is a strong advocate for sufficient funding of California courts so that all citizens are ensured access to justice. She is also involved with improving civics education in California schools to raise the awareness of the importance of justice in our democracy. Throughout her career, the Chief Justice has been aware of the special challenges that often face women and minorities in the legal profession and on the bench. She feels strongly that if she had not received the advice, guidance, and the encouragement of visionary mentors, supervisors, and colleagues, both men and women, many of whom were ahead of their time in seeing the critical importance of women in the law, she would not be here today. Chief Justice Cantil-Sakauye has achieved excellence not only as a judge, but also as a daughter, wife, and mother. Her husband, Mark Sakauye, is a retired police lieutenant, and they have two daughters, Hannah and Claire. The Chief Justice's high visibility and eloquence will continue to influence people of all ages and all walks of life and assure them that they can achieve their dreams. With deep pride and the gratitude of women in the legal profession, the American Bar Association Commission on Women in the Profession presents the 2012 Margaret Brent Women Lawyers of Achievement Award to the Honorable Tani Cantil-Sakauye.
Good afternoon. It is both impressive and shocking to have one's professional career condensed into 4 minutes. But we live in a soundbite, Twitter, YouTube generation, and so I will be equally brief, not as brief as 140 characters, but I will be brief in expressing my deep gratitude for this award and also my respect and admiration for the trailblazers and the pioneers who did so much to enable a person like me so many opportunities to achieve in the legal profession. But first, I'd like to thank the National Asian Pacific Bar Association, NAPABA, for nominating me for this prestigious award. I also like to thank Mary Cranston, Chair of the Commission, and the Commission members for voting for me for this award, and also Bill Robinson, President of the ABA, for his work on behalf of the public and the law, for incoming President Laura Bellows. Hold on! I'll be in touch in 2012. Also, at this point, I would really like to recognize my family sitting in the corner with Napaba, my husband Mark, our daughters Hannah and Claire, and Jiro and Dorothy, my in-laws, without whom none of what I could possibly do as a judge would have been possible. But I am humbled and privileged to join the ranks of such accomplished women, including chief judges from the Conference of Chief Judges, my peers, as well as 20 remarkable California former award recipients. And every day I have the privilege and pleasure of working with Justice Joyce Kennard on the Supreme Court and Joan Dempsey Klein from the Court of Appeal, as well as others who are even here in this room. But I have to say that when I see my name on the same list as containing the names of Justices Sandra Day O'Connor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I am inclined to check that list several times. But I truly do, as the cliche goes, I do stand on the shoulders of so many pioneers and trailblazers. These women and men saw the future of the law, and by their deed and their word, emboldened someone like me to see myself in that future. Because gender discrimination and diversity are not women's issues alone. And the struggle against sexism and bias and career discrimination can only be overcome when we are all in this together. Women helping women and men helping women. All of us together. So what are we doing in California? I'd like to give you a quick update. I'm proud to say that on our Supreme Court, we have the first time a majority of women. And in our judiciary, thank you. I'm proud to say, too, that in our judiciary, 31.1% are female. And diversity is a primary goal of the Judicial Council, for which I chair, hoping that the judicial branch and the legal industry business profession will show and reflect the populace and diversity of California. However, I will tell you that the economic loss gripping our nation and being the consuming topic of late has not dimmed my interest, my resolute commitment to access to justice, fairness, and diversity, and that despite the challenges we face, I am optimistic. And I'm optimistic for several reasons. And one is, have you seen and read about these women on the dais? Have you looked at the bios of the former Brent Award recipients? I will also say that their stories are ones of impossible odds, stories of challenge and perseverance and fortitude and shared success and paying it forward. I'm also optimistic because of the great work of the American Bar Association, the State Bar. I know John Streeter, its president, is here. Also because of the Open Courts Coalition, the Judicial Council, the presiding judges. I know Judge Lee Enbit out of Los Angeles is here out of presiding judge. These are reasons that I am optimistic about our challenges ahead. But I also have sort of an ace in my pocket, and that is I've been up and down our state of California visiting the law schools, and the future leaders, our next generation, are inspired, motivated, and energized. And I firmly believe, as President-elect Bellows says, that they will have different challenges because you and I and our ancestors have plowed the former challenges. And so I hope to take back with me this award and illuminate the path forward for as many who will listen about the issues affecting gender equity, discrimination, sexism, and bias. Thank you for this award.